Anambra State Government restates commitment to conclude investigation into death of Mrs. Chidebere Iloka. Work advances on state government intervention at flooded Ogidi axis of Old Enugu-Onitsha Road. Federal government to propose 19.76 trillion naira budget for 2023. India to unveil new naval flag. Before the news in details, here is a special message. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let's give him maximum support for the task ahead. Good morning and welcome to the news. My name is Nonye Nwokoye. Anambra State government has distanced itself from the purported preliminary autopsy report said to have been conducted on late Mrs. Chidebere Iloka, wife of Mr. Mbazalike Iloka, wife of the suspended Transition Committee chairman of Nnewi North local government area in the state. In a statement jointly signed by Professor Sylvia Ifemeje, Commissioner for Justice, Attorney General, Dr. Afam Obidike, Commissioner for Health, and Mrs. Ifeyinwa Obinabo, Commissioner for Women and Children's Affairs, the state government declared that no conclusive autopsy report has been issued by the team of pathologists that conducted the examination. We have the details.
The statement further noted that sequel to the petition, the state government, given its zero tolerance for domestic violence, decided to take every necessary step to ensure justice for both the dead and Mr. Iloka. It said the group had a meeting on August 16th where it was agreed that the test results would be processed ready within 2 to 6 weeks, stating that as of Tuesday 30th August, the result of toxicology is still being awaited. The statement revealed that barely 24 hours after the autopsy process began and samples for laboratory tests taken, the same elder brother surprisingly went and swore an affidavit claiming that the autopsy was concluded and that the pathologists revealed that the sister was not killed and that the family has resolved to discontinue the case. Similarly, according to the statement, the father of the deceased, Chief Emmanuel Ezewanya, was said to have, on the 19th August 2022, written to the Inspector General of Police and copied to the Governor of Anambra State, Commissioner of Women Affairs, State Commissioner of Police, also claiming that his daughter was not murdered or beaten up, and urged the IGP to discontinue the case. It, however, maintained that there is no autopsy result agreed to by the pathologists that concluded the autopsy, noting that what the pathologist representing the family issued as preliminary result remains his personal opinion, and the consultant pathologists appointed by government, they associated themselves from such. It explained that since it is a criminal matter which is against the state, it will pursue it to a logical conclusion and ensure that justice is served. It noted that the action of the deceased family has indeed compromised the integrity of the autopsy examination outcome, and therefore announced that the government pathologists stand withdrawn and charged the police to conduct a thorough investigation on the matter.
Wife of Anambra State Governor Mrs. Nonye Soludo has stated that her husband, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, is one man who understands and appreciates the invaluable place of youths in modern-day governance. Mrs. Soludo, who stated this in Oka, explained that the current administration's investment in youths is propelled by Governor Soludo's belief that young people are the engine of any developed and working economy. Dan Ezigwe has details.
According to the governor's wife, her husband has engaged in deliberate policies that prioritize the values of and accommodate all Anambra youths as important units in the development blueprint of the state. She noted that by giving youth the opportunity to be actively involved in governance, the present administration is strategically arming them with the fundamental capacity of both today's and tomorrow's Anambra State. Mrs. Soludo noted that youths have proven to be key players in the achievement of a decent society and understanding that her husband's administration is not only maximizing but perfecting in every way. The governor's wife also praised the potentials of Anambra youths both at home and in diaspora and described them as the pride and pillars of the state. In Awka, Daniel Ezigwe, ABS News.
Hardship experienced by commuters flying Old Onitsha-Enugu Road, especially the flooded area at Ogidi Idemele North Council area, is now over following intervention by the Soludo administration to rechannel the flood water on the road. Works correspondent Ngozi Obileri visited the site to monitor the pace and level of intervention already done by the state government. Her report.
When ABS arrived at the site, it was observed that drainage channel in and around the catchment pit have been cleared, which allowed water to flow freely into the catchment pit. Swamp boogie machine was also seen dredging the pit, which was looking expanded since the flag off of the work by Governor Soludo, while a dredger was also placed at a strategic position to remove water from the pit to another pit behind it so that water level would not exceed the pit. Speaking to the ABS, a resident of Irendiagu Ogidi, Mr. Chiwetalo Ifediora, said they are happy that intervention has come so that they can sleep with their two eyes closed, but appealed for a permanent solution to the flooding challenge on the road, as according to him, they have experienced untold hardship since the pit was created.
His Excellency Soludo, no, I can use if I'm maybe. So now, I know for hope. Telling Agani, no problem. I'm if a good million, the other side, no crown, or if a man I got, or do I see it before? So I need to make it.
Another resident, Mr. Obinna Ifezuora, regretted that the flood water coming from neighboring communities into the pit is above the capacity of the pit, which is why the road is always overflowed whenever it rains heavily. He called on the state government to check indiscriminate dumping of refuse inside the drainage by traders at Afoigwe Market, as according to him, the refuse always blocks the drainages, which is a major challenge to the area.
Take away
ABS witnessed illegal dumping of refuse inside the drainage and along the road, even while the dredging was ongoing. From Ogidi, in Idemili North Council area, I am Ngozi Obileri for ABS News.
Engineer Emeka Okonkwo has formally assumed office as the new Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of Anambra's Traffic Management Agency, ATMA. The former Transition Committee Chairman of Dunukofia Local Government Area was last week appointed to head the State Traffic Regulatory Agency by Governor Chukwuma Soludo. Dan Ezigwe has details.
Speaking shortly before handing over official documents to the new Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer, the outgoing ATMA boss, Mr. Patrick Obiofuna, said that Engineer Okonkwo is coming into the new position with wealth of experience, having done excellently well in the same area in the past. He also explained to the new MD CEO important details of the job, including staff capacity, areas of crucial coverage, and ATMA offices across Anambra State, expressing optimism that he will succeed.
Here, worth the while. And I do look forward that you extend all the support that he needs to make his tenure better than my own. I only want to hope that you will support him to make his stay here smooth.
Addressing staff of the agency, the new ATMA MD CEO, Engineer Okonkwo, said that his first mandate is to restore zero traffic on all Anambra roads and asked every employee of the organization to step up and understand that it is no longer business as usual. He sought collaboration with every hand in the agency and explained that his target is to carry everyone along with the sole aim of achieving results as is contained in the official directive from the state government. Engineer Konkowai, thanking Governor Chukwuma Soludo for finding him worthy of the new job, pledged to put in his best.
He commended the outgoing MD a lot, said so much about what he has done to Atma, how Atma was before he came in. He has given us big shoes to fill in. We are expected to make the shoes bigger for the next person. I'm walking in here today, nobody knows when I'm going to step out. But for this sojourn I'm going to spend with people, it must not be business as usual anymore. But when I come into work, we all work seriously. And I expect, and I know that we are all going to work together in harmony. True of us, we are getting into work immediately.
The new Atma boss, shortly after the formalities for official assumption, went into crucial meeting with unit supervisors and other senior personnel of the agency. In Oka, Daniel Ezigwe, ABS News.
Nimo community in Njikoka local government area has kicked off activities to mark the 2022 annual Iwaji festival, known in the town as Alomo. The event, which kicked off with a holy mass, took place at the Owele Palace of the traditional ruler of the town, Igwe Maxi Ike Oliobi, and was attended by dignitaries including the Chief Whip, Anambra State House of Assembly, and member representing Njikoka Constituency 2, Honorable Pete Ibida. Our correspondent, Blessing Dennis, reports.
Other attendees at the event were the traditional Prime Minister of Nimo, retired Justice G.U. Ononiba, accompanied by Ndin Zenozo, the President General of Nimo, Mr. Ekene Okafor, the clergy, cabinet members, and other sons and daughters of the town. In his homily during the Mass, a guest priest, Reverend Father Wilfred Ike, offered prayers of thanksgiving to God for a fruitful harvest, describing Igwe Oliobi as a great king who knows the value of tradition and prayed God to bless the community. Opening the ceremony, Igwe Oliobi walked around his palace with his royal regalia to supervise the roasting of new yam and its sauce in local parlance known as Oba, as well as declaring it ready for consumption. Speaking at the event, the Chief Whip of the State House of Assembly, Chief Ibida, who described yam as the king of all crops, said that the new yam festival usher in orderliness in the community and sustains the beautiful bond between the people and their ancestors.
There is time for planting, there is time for harvest. This is place we demonstrate how bountiful, the harvest is.
In an interview, the President General of Nimo, Mr. Ekene Okafor, and a prominent son of the community, Chief Chuks Ide, said that the culture of yam cultivation is an age-long tribute of the Igbos, which has successfully transcended from generations to generations. In their various remarks, the wife of the monarch, Mrs. Theodora Oliobi, known as Iyom Ocheze, Mrs. Nkoli Chukura, known as Iyom Irugo, as well as Mrs. Vivian Ajoku, Iyom Ugodia, made it clear that culture has its dynamic nature and that when culture is lost, every other thing is gone, and stressed that culture is a symbol of identity of every person in Igbo land.
Today, we are celebrating the New Yam Festival. Normally, it's a mark of new season. Igwe of this town, Maximus Oliobi, Gabia, where Waji, nya ekpeche ekpelenia, Elienya Buchi, Elisienya, then Ndini Moni na zeho de Libezieji.
The Iwaji, as I know it, is celebration of New Yam Festival. This is done every year to thank the gods for giving us, new crops. So it's done before we start eating the new year.
Earlier, Igwe Oliobi expressed satisfaction with the sustainability of Nimo culture and tradition, even as he prayed and thanked God for a fruitful farming season, peace and unity in the state and country at large, urging Nimo people in the diaspora to always visit home and participate in the festival.
In a festival, in our local language, Alomo Nimo. One of the diaspora is not even to come and witness. I should only have a go now, Benia. I will not diaspora. I have a go on the Nibo. Oblindimo, Hanatanimo. Everybody have Wakudu. I told how Moko and everybody have Waku. So, no, you have a God suppose you know, Burifa. Jamaica and impact.
The event featured an area of masquerade performances, dance from different groups, paying of homage to Igwe Oliobi, as well as cash donations to Nimo sons who participated in the cultivation of yams in this year's season. From Nimo, in Njikoka local government area, I am Blessing Dennis reporting for ABS News.
On the national scene, federal government is proposing a budget with estimates totaling 19.76 trillion naira, while the deficit will hover between 11.30 trillion naira and 12.41 trillion naira in the 2023 fiscal year. The Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Hajia Zainab Ahmed, who made this known in Abuja, decried that the government might be unable to provide for Treasury-funded capital projects next year, especially due to dwindling revenue and payment of subsidies on petrol. The minister, in her presentation to the House of Representatives Committee on Finance at the hearing on the proposed 2023 to 2025 medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper, pointed out that the crude oil production challenges and subsidy deductions by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited constitute a major threat to the country's revenue growth targets. She stated that bold, decisive and urgent action must be taken to address revenue underperformance and expenditure efficiency at the national and subnational levels. On business news, Nigerian Communications Commission has set $0.10 as the new fixed international termination rate for voice services paid by overseas telecom carriers for ending international calls on local networks in Nigeria. The ITF pertains to the cost of bringing call traffic into Nigeria, and it was increased from the $0.045 initially presented in December last year as a floor price. The Commission said the new rate, which would take effect September 1, 2022, was the fixed rate for ITR services. It added that international operators were mandated to pay local operations in dollars. On the foreign scene, India will unfurl a new naval flag that retires a British colonial symbol to mark the formal debut of the country's first locally built aircraft carrier, Prime Minister Narendra Modi's office said. The current ensign features a prominent cross of St. George, the national flag of England, and a legacy from India's 9 decades as a crown dependency, which ended with independence in 1947. Modi will reveal the new design Friday in southern Kerala state at the commissioning of the Vikrant, which his office touted as a significant step for military self-reliance. The St. George Cross has been a feature of the naval ensign since 1928, except for a brief spell between 2001 and 2004, when the Hindu nationalist government of the time replaced it with a blue Indian Navy crest. It was reintroduced after complaints by service members that the crest could not be easily spotted against the color of the sky and the ocean, local media reports said. The Victran enters service alongside a smaller aircraft carrier bought second-hand from Russia, which has long been a major arms supplier to New Delhi. Modi's government has sought to wean the country off its dependency on foreign military purchases and build the domestic defense hardware industry. Now on sports news, ahead of the 30th September Nigeria Football Federation election, presidential contestant and former Nigerian goalkeeper Mr. Ida Peterside has threatened to take legal action if disqualified from contesting. Mr. Peterside made this known to newsmen during a live radio program with Sports Sasa following rumors that some of the contestants might be disqualified before election day. Sorry. The NFF presidency race stand a fascinating twist after incumbent Mr. Amajo Pinnick, the first man to head the body for 2 terms, confirmed he would not be running for a 3rd term. And with that sports news, we come to the end of the news. But remember, you can follow news and programs on ABS from any part of the world by liking our Facebook page at ABS Radio Television. Subscribe to our YouTube page at ABS Television Oka. Follow us on Instagram at ABS Radio TV. You can log on to our website at www.absradiotv.com. And the main news again. Anambra State Government has restated commitment to conclude investigation into death of Mrs. Chidebere Iloka. Work is advancing on state government intervention at flooded Ogidi axis of Old Onitsha Enugu Road. The federal government proposed 19.76 trillion naira budget for 2023. And on the foreign scene, India is to unveil new naval flag. And the special message again, Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let's give him maximum support for the task ahead. And that's the news. We thank you so much for watching. My name is Nonya Nwokoye. Good morning and have a great day.